G'day, Pickleball family. First thing to know on a sad note, in memoriam, Matthew Perry, beloved actor and pickleball enthusiast, as shared on pickleballunion.com. In a truly tragic turn of events, the lovely Matthew Perry passed away last weekend after allegedly playing in a 2-hour pickleball session. Here, friend and pickleball coach Matt Manassi fondly remembers his late friend who utilised the popular sport as a means to aid in his recovery journey. It is comforting to think Matthew Perry was doing one of his very favourite things in the hours just prior to his passing. Manassi shared with people the profound significance the sport held for the actor who left us on Saturday at the age of 54. Manassi, who had known the Friends star for 2 years, asserts that it served as an outlet for him and was a pivotal tool in his path to sobriety. He thought it was something that could help with his recovery, and he was doing an awesome job, says Manassi. He loved it. He came out 5 times a week, would always talk about it. He got so much better, always made everyone laugh. He was competitive, just a genuine good guy, caring for everybody. Called the pickleball coach to the stars by some, Manassi shares his expertise with patrons at the Riviera Country Club, an exclusive members establishment in Pacific Palisades, close to Perry's residence in the Los Angeles area. Perry was on the court there just before being discovered deceased in his nearby abode, and it comes as no surprise to Manassi that his comrade was on the court that morning. In fact, he was informed that the actor, whose cause of passing is yet to be ascertained, was performing really well. He shares, when I first started playing pickleball with him, it was just Matthew and me, and then we'd bring in other people. Manassi notes that the actor took pleasure in playing with another instructor at the Riviera. She was Perry's pickleball partner on Saturday and was the first person Manassi reached out to upon learning of the star's demise. She said, yeah, he'd come out. She didn't say how long, but said he'd been doing really well on court, which wasn't a surprise. Manassi adds, pickleball was his outlet. He really looked forward to it. He was a competitive guy, not in a bad way at all. He loved it. He wanted to come out. He wanted to win. He loved it. When he hit an unbelievable shot, he would tell you about it for days. Yet, beyond his affection for the sport, Manassi asserts that Perry, who openly discussed his prolonged struggle with alcohol and prescription painkiller addiction, employed pickleball as a means to maintain sobriety and extend aid to others in their recovery journeys. According to Manassi, he had so much that he was doing with his rehab facility and trying to get people clean. Manassi says he would bring them to teach them pickleball. He was just always trying to help people. This included Manassi, who endeavoured to establish his standing as the go-to pickleball instructor as the sport gained traction among Hollywood's luminaries. Perry, he recounts, was inclined to lend his support, stating, whatever you need, I'm there for you. That's just the kind of guy he was. Manassi explains, we went to dinner together. I was over at his place for the Super Bowl. He cared about other people. He was a really good person. The devastated coach, who last spoke to his friend the week before the star's death, says that he wants people to know that his friend Matty was a guy that wanted to help people and was selfless. He cared about everyone. Your day was better when you saw him or when he called, he recalls. He never missed an opportunity for a funny joke to make you laugh, just a genuinely amazing person. Everyone should know he had a heart of gold. Second thing to know, also shared on pickleballunion.com, how a Kansas City suburb plans to mitigate pickleball noise. In Leawood, Kansas, individuals contemplating the construction of private sports courts in their backyards will now have to adhere to new requirements. These requirements were established following numerous community discussions and are not the first of its type nationwide, with the growing sport and its continued complaints with noise. At a recent meeting, the Leawood Planning Commission approved an amendment to the city's development ordinance that added new guidelines to the approval process for building new tennis or pickleball courts. Stemming from multiple complaints last year when residents raised concerns about noise and bright lights coming from residential pickleball courts after hours, the Planning Commission conducted several work sessions. Before the amendment, residential sports courts required a particular use permit if they had lighting. However, the new amendment now mandates that residents must inform their neighbours by mail within a 200 feet radius if they want to construct a sports court. The amendment also requires that the court be screened from neighbours by evergreen landscaping, and the midpoint distance of the court must be closer to the owner's house than any neighbour's house, with a minimum setback of 20 feet from all property lines. Council member Deborah Filler has raised concerns about the sports court ordinance, citing complaints from residents in Northern Lairwood about a neighbour's private backyard tennis court being used for pickleball. Currently, the regulations state that a sports court permit must receive administrative approval from the City Planning Director. Additionally, the court cannot be constructed within a front yard and must be located at least 10 feet from any rear or side lot line, and no court lighting is permitted between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. The council also recommended notifying by mail any surrounding neighbours within 200 feet of any potential sports court permits. This would change the city currently advising homeowners associations about sports court permits. Lairwood Building and Code Enforcement Director Travis Torres suggested that sports courts should fall under a special use permit, requiring the plans for each one to come before the Planning Commission and City Council for improvement. Staff will present the council with suggestions for a revised sports court ordinance within the next 2 months. Phillip proposed an outright ban on pickleball within Lairwood as a solution for the continued complaints. Mayor Peggy Dunn acknowledged that pickleball should not be removed from the city, but emphasised the importance of placing more regulations to keep the community happy. Similar concerns have been raised by Mission Woods Mayor Darryl Franklin and his wife Laurie, who filed a lawsuit seeking a court order to stop play at several pickleball courts at the Mission Hills Country Club near their home. The couple claims that the game creates a much louder sound and is materially more intrusive than tennis, which had previously been played at the converted courts. Overall, residents of Lairwood must now adhere to new guidelines when considering building private sports courts in their backyards, as concerns regarding noise and bright lights have led to increased regulations in the community. And if you're finding this video, if you're watching it on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or Spotify, helpful, please be sure to dink that like button. Third thing to know, as also shared on pickleballunion.com, near and dear to my Australian pickleball heart, Victoria-based pickleball club achieves huge success at Australian Masters Games. The Drysdale Clifton Springs Pickleball Club in the state of Victoria, Australia, established less than a year ago, has quickly gained prominence in the national sports arena. At the 2023 Australian Masters Games in Adelaide, held from October 7 through 14, the club secured an impressive total of 35 medals. The event, described as a week-long celebration of sport that unites enthusiasts from across Australia, imposes no qualifying criteria from apart from age limitations, generally set at a minimum of 30 years. The Masters Games draws participants from various corners of the globe. Pickleball is a big thing down under too, and made its inaugural appearance in the Australia's Masters Games this year. Fiona Bond, the Publicity and Promotions Officer of Drysdale Clifton Springs Pickleball Club, revealed that the club's inception on November 30 included 14 enthusiastic pickleball players based in Drysdale who were previously associated with the Ocean Grove Pickleball Club. Since its establishment, the club has proved incredibly popular and now boasts over 170 members, thereby ranking as Victoria's second largest pickleball club. Ms. Bond humorously recounted her frequent travels to Ocean Grove, stating, "I used to joke to everyone I may as well live in Ocean Grove, as I was travelling there 5 times a week." Over 35 members of the club participated in this year's Australian Masters Games in Adelaide, an endeavour that yielded remarkable results. Ms. Bond emphasised the speed with which the club achieved its success, highlighting the growing influence of pickleball on the Bellarine region. It was rather amazing how rapidly we did it all. The Bellarine is the centre of pickleball for Geelong. Since we started, there's a new group in Leopold that play, and Queenscliff has started up their own club. As well as the 35 medals for pickleball at the Australian Masters Games, Drysdale Clifton Springs Pickleball Club representatives won another 3 medals for petanque, 2 for golf, and 1 for tennis, bringing the haul to 41. Over 35 members of the club participated. It was pretty amazing. It was more of going for a bit of a trip and a holiday. A lot of us haven't played in tournaments before, because most of them are newish anyway. But it's a really good experience, and everyone was surprised with the haul. She emphasised pickleball's accessibility to players of all ages, and particularly emphasised how easy it was to learn. A lot of us are ex-tennis players, so there's a natural progression with hand-eye coordination, but we have a number of people who've never played a sport in their life, and they're in their late 50s or 60s, and they just love it. Because in one session, you're hitting balls over the net and making winning shots. It's called the addictive sport, and it is, trust me. And it's also renowned for being fun and very social. Drysdale is located southwest of Melbourne, the capital of the state of Victoria in Australia. Paddles up.